Hi everyone, today we are going to look at the product Rim by Michelin King. Now I've already started with this side of the wheel. Wheels haven't been cleaned in about 2.5 weeks. To use the product, just simply spray it on. It's as easy as that. No need to wait to agitate. Now the brush that I'm using, this one here, I did wet that with some water just so that I'm not putting a dry brush onto the wheels, especially with an accumulation of 2.5 weeks dirt, just in case it damages them. These wheels aren't waxed at all, there's no protection on them. This was something that I've been planning, so I made sure we had all the wax and everything like that off. Now, I'm probably taking longer than you normally would to do this because, well, for the camera. So, needs to be perfect. Just going over the brake area as well. You see the calipers are red, so does a good job of taking the grime off there. Just going to rinse this off. One of the things you do want to be careful with is the area here. You want to make sure that there's no rim sitting in there at all. Don't want anything sitting on the wheel for any longer than it needs to be. So just make sure when you're rinsing the wheel that the area around the nuts runs clear. Just want that water to be completely clear. The good thing is with the first going over, you start to notice areas that you've missed, or that I've missed. Now, these are particularly fidgety areas in here because it actually tapers as well. It's quite wide here, but towards the back it's quite narrow. Good idea is to rotate the wheels as you go, just so that you're getting every section of them. Now, once we've done the second rinse, I actually use the rim for the tyres as well. I done the tyres only a couple of weeks ago, so there shouldn't really be, as you can see, not much of a build up of dirt on them. Always clean the tyres if I'm applying new tyre dressing anyway. It means that the tyre dressing goes onto a clean tyre rather than new tyre dressing on top of old tyre dressing. What it gives you as well is a lubricity so that you can get between the tyre and the rim of the wheel. So it actually gives you enough suds to get in there. Makes the rubber nice and slippy, just makes it a lot easier to get into that gap. Again, just rinse that. Easy way, same as the car, just rinse it down. Instead of doing this where you might get some spray coming up, rinse the wheel down the way. That means that all the debris runs away. Another thing to do is flush out the back, just so that there's nothing, again, you don't want this sitting on the wheel. It's a strong product, especially when used at its pure dilution. Now, with the rim product, as advertised on the website, you can actually dilute this up to 4 times. I could have easily gotten away with diluting this 50-50 for a job like this. So, and I'd imagine most of us that detail, we probably never let our wheels get to this stage, but I just want to show you how good the product is. And again, you don't need to have the protection on the alloys to get a result like this. Again, I just want to show you how much suds action you get with this as well. It is a phenomenal product. It is really good. Good working time as well. I find that's very important, just in case you get to a particularly tricky bit. Obviously this here, so say you're working down here, you forget about this area, it doesn't dry out quickly, but I would still always work. I work 3 spokes at a time, as you can see, 1, 2, 3. Because what I feel is by the time you're around here, this has now been sitting on the car without being agitated. So again, you can just go round the wheel one last time, very quickly. This is purely for the camera, just to show you the suds we've got still at the end. We haven't sprayed any more on, this is just what was in the brush. Another important thing is always rinse the brush in between. There we go. Rinse, same process, rinse down. And then start from the top and blast back. The best way I find to rinse the brush is to actually get a small jug, just buy a jug about a pound or so, put it in and whirl it round, empty it out. The reason behind that is, and I'll show you why, if we turn the hose on this, that rim is going everywhere. It's spraying back at me, it's spraying on the car. So just like safety first, like everything. Safest way to do it is normally the best. That's completely rinsed off. The next thing I would do with these, it depends how deep you want to get with the alloy. Obviously go onto the back side of them now, the rear face. If it's a full detail, then if you feel comfortable with it, remove the alloy. Now, I would recommend that you speak to somebody with mechanical knowledge before doing that. You just want to make sure that you're getting the same torquing points and that everything is safe for using the car in the future. Alternatively, you can keep the wheel on and just work with. Majority of people, myself included, I don't remove the wheels, I keep them on, I work with what I've got, and I then get the Pure, which is our pre-wax cleanser. It's again quite a strong product, so it will remove the tar deposits. It will take longer than a tar remover, something that's specifically made for it, but you also get the benefit that it will also clean, it will give the alloy a deeper clean as well. So if you use a tar remover, you'll need to follow up with the Pure. If you use the Pure, then it's ready to go after. You can put a wax coating on this if you want. One of the things that I would say is remember how warm the brake discs are, or the brake dust. It will keep the alloys cleaner to a certain extent, but just bear in mind that you have got hundreds of degrees of burning bits of dust hitting the wax. So something like Fortitude or Winter Waxes, Parma, Heather, all good candidates for the, even I use Showcar to be honest on the wheels sometimes, so there's no hard and fast rule to it. Obviously one of the most important things when you're cleaning the wheels is don't do them with hot brakes. Wait until the brakes, this car hasn't been driven today, so it's okay to start there. Make sure you dry it off as well. I see some of you now have the Metrovac style thing. you can pat dry as well. And the last bit of health and safety advice would be, make sure you test the brakes before you leave, because you don't want to test the brakes when you need them. You want to test the brakes when you're in full control. And obviously when you rinse the brakes and the pads and everything, there will be water sitting in there. So it's one of the things that I don't really hear a lot, but it's certainly a safety point for me with this car here, is make sure the brakes work. So again, next steps would be dry these off, get pure on a microfiber pad, go round the wheel 2-3 times just to get it absolutely sparkling, gets rid of all the tar you can see here. I've had the road resurfaced, so it's inevitable. And then put a wax coating on if you want, and obviously finish off with our product would be tyre for the tyre dressing as well. Just a complete package. Normally use a throwaway microfiber for the tyres because it just gets so dirty as well. So even though this section's clean, obviously the inside of the tyre's still pretty dirty. Thank you very much. All the links for the products are in the section below, and should you have any questions, just leave a comment, or alternatively visit michelinking.com, email john at michelinking, all one word, .co.uk. The and is AND and not the sign. And telephone number is 01877 365 005. That's a UK, so you put a +44 in front of it for any international calls. Thank you very much.